Alhamdulillah, and I'm so privileged that Allah has chosen me to be one of the, I saw this cyclonic, it was all over internet, but I never ever, how would I ever imagine myself being here anyway? But it's all Allah's love and mercy. Allah chooses whom He wills, and I'm one of them. Alhamdulillah. May Allah keep, blessing me to be in position to be getting to places like this, because this is a lesson to me and you all. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. We are heading back to the mosque, and my message to you, my dear ones, you are among the chosen ones. You are among the most beloved by Allah. The fact that Allah saved you from the so many people who died, that means He still loves you. He wants you to be at work. He wants you to keep worshiping Him. You still have a chance to redefine yourselves. You still have a chance to do better. Because, subhanAllah, we can't know when we shall be leaving this world, right? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Ashuurah Mutale Muslim Girls International, all the way from Uganda. Guess what? Yes, I am in Malawi, the warm heart of Africa. And in the midst of me visiting some of my sisters in PHALOMBE. Yeah, PHALOMBE, yes. I've just come here for a lecture to talk to my beloved sisters who are still caught up in whatever that happened. That was a cyclonic that happened on the 11th March 2023, this very year, that washed away literally the entire village. It destroyed plantations. Houses were so destroyed. Everything entirely. Everything was gardens and the plantations. People died. All the animals. So which of Allah's favors shall we really deny? And in fact, I just came to talk to my beloved sisters to instill hope in them, to give them some love, tell them that Allah is with them. Besides, the fact that they're still alive, that means Allah loves them so much, and so they should just, get clinged onto that regardless of the situation they are going through. Besides, it's really hard, it's drought, it's so hot, there's literally nothing like a green. Ya Rabbi, imagine what they're going through. So for my trip, my beloved sisters, the Ummahat sisters who brought me here, have decided that I come down here for my first lecture to talk to my beloved sisters. May Allah accept, Ya Rabbi, but this is so devastating. I'm really in shock. I've been hearing about mudslides. Yes, in my country, in Uganda, there are mudslides as well, but I've never literally been on the ground. And here I am. The roads were blocked, as in everything is just destroyed. Everything is just upside down, imagine. So my beloved ones, wherever you are, if you are still alive, and with all those favors, there's so many favors that we take for granted. Things that are happening to us, things that we are having, and we don't even recognize it. So if Allah has still given you those favors, please don't take nothing for granted, because imagine how our beloved sisters are living. So they just brought us to this extreme end of the mountain. This is where most of them were living, subhanAllah. But look, they were left houseless. They have no accommodation. They were misplaced. Many people died. They lost their husbands, their children, their parents, their siblings, name it all, their belongings. They were just left empty-handed. So please pray for my beloved sisters. Pray for all the people in this area so that Allah grants them ease, and may He pave paths for them. My today's topic is going to be tawakkul, the reliance in Allah. So we are heading back to the mosque so that I can address a gathering of our beloved sisters to instill hope, to tell them that Allah is still with them, that Allah still loves them. The mere fact that they are still alive, there are so many dead people who wish they were still here. But the fact that you're still here, you still have it all. Mulibwanji, my beloved Malawian sisters. I'm so privileged to be here, to be talking to you, my dear ones. It's really so hot, as you can see. But may Allah simplify everything and put ease. May Allah put barakah in everything that comes out of me so that it benefits whoever is here right now and whoever will watch this from the Alhamdulillah, may Allah accept. So I'm so thankful to my beloved sister. She's my host. She decided that I come here first before any other events. We are so saddened with what happened to you, my beloved sisters, about the cyclone. And today I come with the good news that you are still among the blessed servants of Allah. For everything that happens to us, Allah loves patience. We should always be patient in everything because Allah loves patient people. Today we are going to learn how to depend on Allah. We should depend on Allah for everything. Did you also know that after every difficulty comes ease? So for every time you get any difficulty, just count on Allah. Speak to Allah. Talk to Him as though you're seeing Him. Tell Him, Ya Allah, you have decreed this on me, and I am counting on you to get me out of this situation because no one else has decreed this on me. No one else has full control over me. You know me much more than I know myself. You love me much more than I love myself. I am counting on you, Ya Allah, to get me out of this situation. And I am praying to you to grant me the very best out of this. This is our life. We are straining for the life hereafter. So there will always be ups and downs. You'll go through valleys, you'll go through rivers, and so many things will try to tie you down. But then how are you going to stand firm? How are you going to hold on to the rope so that you don't slip off? Please do not become sad of what you lost. Allah is in control of everything, and He has reasons as to why things happened the way they did. Because so many people lost their lives in this cyclone, but then you're still here. My question is, are you still alive because of your knowledge? Are you still alive because you were so good at running? Are you still alive because you were so good at hiding from the rocks and running away and dodging the rocks? Did you know how to swim? Yes, that's the mercy of Allah. So we all know that you are still here because of Allah's mercy, right? And so we should cling on to that regardless of the situation. There are so many things happening in this world, but none of anything happens without Allah's decree.
pali zinthu zambiri zimene zikuchitika pa dziko pano ndi mphamvu yokha ya Mulungu kapena kuti ndi chikonzero chokha cha Mulungu.
In situations like this, people can talk a lot, people can think of shirk, people can think of this and that, people can think maybe they bewitched us, someone is doing something wrong to our village. Subhanallah, that's not the case. And before we know, in situations like this, people lose their faith. But since we are here, and right here today, for anything that you've been feeling that's been grabbing your faith away, anything that has been snatching your faith, anything that has been making you feel, subhanallah, Allah was so unkind, Allah was so unfair with us, from today onwards, we are going to have a different mindset. Let's just say, I'm blessed. Yes, because Allah has chosen you among so many sisters out there, and He brought you here because He wants you to hear a message from afar. Because I'm coming all the way from Uganda. Imagine how many countries have I skipped to come to Malawi to talk to you, my beloved sisters.
Sister, what did you do?
Alhamdulillah. We are not the first people who have faced calamities. Trust me, even in my country, people face these calamities. It's only that I feel so blessed that Allah has chosen me among His servants to come on ground, because I saw this cyclone on internet, but I never ever could have imagined I would be here someday. You know that Allah never tries people that he doesn't love. Allah only tries people that He loves, and the people that Allah loves are Allah's friends. And being Allah's friends is what we are all straining for. I traveled all the way from Uganda because I'm straining to be Allah's friend, because I want to be close to Allah. Trust me, I would have stayed there. But this, so my dear ones, please do not become sad with what happened to you. Every time you feel like your iman is falling down, every time you feel like you do not want to pray anymore, every time you feel like, why should I even pray? Trust me, you still have 1,000 reasons to pray, because you are still alive. Allah has still blessed you with this life. And unlike those who died, there are people who died and they wish they were still here. So for everything that is happening to you, look at the people that are below you. Because trust me, subhanallah, everyone here looks so healthy. You all look good, mashallah. You all so smart in your hijabs, mashallah. You are looking way so good. May Allah increase in barak and may He keep sustenance for you all. We have to be so thankful to Allah. And our way of being thankful to Allah is to look at those below us. Because there are some countries where people are having droughts and they are literally starving to death. But you are, I'm not saying you're not going through hardships. We are all going through hardships, but at least say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Takbir! So when you remain firm relying on Allah, you find tranquility and peace. Nothing is going to move you, nothing will harm you, and keep moistening your lips with adhkaris. You know some adhkaris, right? It's a very good way to persevere, to maneuver through. Because trust me, this world is all about chaos, it's all about distractions. This world is so evil, people are so jealous, people are this, people are that. But the only one who will never give up on you, the only one who will never disappoint you, the only one who will never betray you is Allah Tabarak Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And the only one who loves you more than you love yourself can never be any other than Allah Tabarak Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. We have several verses from Quran, Al-Quran Al-Hakim, one of which is from Surah Al-Tarak, verse 3, and it says, He will provide you from sources you have never imagined. That is if you trust in Him, if you rely on Him. The verse goes on and says, and whoever puts his trust in Allah, then He will suffice him. Verily, Allah will accomplish His purpose. Indeed, Allah has sent a measure of all things. So that is all from Allah. Allah's words are true. He never lies. It's all up to us to choose whether to rely on Him or not. Because if you rely on Allah, you have the guarantee. You are assured of success without fail. When you rely on Allah, you have no confusion. This is an assurance. Because this world is full of so many things. We are going through so many difficulties. We are facing this and that. Before you know, some of us have lost their marriages, right? Some of us have lost their children. Some of us have lost their parents. So there are so many challenges and trials that literally come to wipe us out. But how can we stand firm? Because regardless of the situation, you are still entitled to worship Allah. There's no situation that can ever make you feel like you're tired and asking Allah questions, So my beloved sisters, let's endeavor to stick on to Allah. Let's endeavor to say the adhikaris. Let's endeavor to keep on ayat kursiyu, because it's one of those verses that dissolve hardships within our hearts. One of those verses that outweighs. Sometimes we get problems and we feel like the heart is so heavy, like we can't take them anymore. But then Allah has given us solutions. This is by praying to Him. This is by relying on Him, well knowing no one is going to get you out of that situation. Because right now we all have problems. If I ever ask one by one, we all have things that have made our hearts so heavy, like we can't breathe anymore, like the prayer has become a burden. But who is going to save you from that problem? Unless that you get clinged, that you get glued on Allah. No one can save you. No one is going to get you out of that situation apart from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And that is a guarantee. Allah tells us a lot about the trials. He tells us in one of the surahs, in Surah Al-Baqarah, one of the verses, this is 286, that He does not burden a soul beyond what it can carry. For whatever calamity that you go through, just know Allah knows it. He has a reason as to why He's making you go through it. He knows you can persevere it. It's all about you relying on Him. Ya Allah, this is from you. Please enable me. Persevere. Please enable me go through this. Because indeed, when you rely on Allah, He will get you through that situation, my dear ones. So we have to be thankful, first of all, for the life that we still have. because so many people died. The other thing, regardless of how hard we are getting whatever we feed on, at least we get something to feed on. We should be thankful to Allah. Let's count on Allah for everything, because it's only Allah who will never disappoint us. Let's stop looking at human beings. When you encounter on me, I'll disappoint you because I'm just a human being. I also have my flaws. I can't be perfect. But when we rely on Allah, in the truthfulness of relying on Him, subhanallah, we shall witness the favors of Allah. We shall witness how merciful and how loving Allah is, and how sustaining Allah is. So my beloved ones, please let us rely on Allah regardless of the situation that we are going through. Now, when we look at the levels of tawakkul, we have tawheed. This is knowing Allah's names, His beautiful names, and knowing how capable Allah is. So, for example, as the sister was taking us to check on that place where the cyclone, that other place, she told us that there is a rock that came and shielded this other part from getting the floods, and whose mercy was it that this other part wasn't affected. And yet the cyclone shows that they came from, they are directing to this place, right? But then it diverted to the other place. Whose mercy was it? And who did that? It was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Too bad to be true, when such things happen, some people attribute it to Satan. They think they didn't worship whatever, so those are things, Some people think, how do you call those things here? The satanic, the shirk things, yeah. Too bad to be true, when such things happen, some people will divert into shrines, they'll divert into worshipping other things, thinking the gods are angry, thinking of this and that, not knowing it was due to Allah's wish, it was due to Allah's will, it was due to Allah's command, because He simply says, be, and so be it, kun fayakun. So my dear ones, before you think of so many other things and this and that, whatever thing that ever happens to you, just say, Allah, this is all up to you. It's happened to me because of your acceptance, because of your decree, and I'm relying on you to get out of this situation. And trust me, Allah will never let go of you. He will never disappoint you. See? So tawakkul is reliance in Allah and trusting His perfect plans. We should rely on Allah and trust in His perfect plans, because for everything that ever happens, there's always a reason behind it. There's always a wisdom behind it beyond human understanding. So we should always be Allah's conscious for everything that happens to us. So going through this briefly as we wind up, my word to you is to stick on to Allah. Stick on to Allah, even if you feel like sometimes you go through situations and feel like Allah is not seeing me, Allah is unfair, Allah is this, Allah is that. No, Allah loves you more than you love yourself. So please stick on to Allah, stick by Allah, regardless of everything that happens to you. Have you lost your loved one? Have you run out of food? Have you lost your shelter, like people were left misplaced? Stick on to Allah and just talk to Him. Ya Allah, I'm going nowhere, because no one else is going to get me out of this. No one else is going to save me apart from you, Ya Allah. And indeed, He will save you, because He promised us that He will always be that rock that will always retrieve us from the deepest well. And trust me, when you encounter Allah, when you glue yourself onto Allah, He will never disappoint you. He will always show up. He will always be there. He will always reach out to you. He tells us, reach out to me by one hand and I'll come to you by two hands. Reach out to me by walking and I'll come to you by running. That's how Allah is, how merciful He is. So my dear ones, regardless of the situations, how much we are struggling, how much we can't find this, how much we can't get access to this, please, let's be like birds. We are suffering simply because we do not know Allah enough. But just see the birds, they will eat everything up the way they found it, well knowing tomorrow Allah will provide them. Had we had the faith of the birds, then things would have been so easy for us. Why? The birds are absolutely and wholeheartedly relying on Allah. Unlike us, the humans, are still here. But the fact that you're still here, you still have it all. So I do love you all for the sake of Allah. I literally want to be taking you through all my trips throughout Africa. Remember, this is Malawi for starters, and I'll be going to Zambia, then Namibia, Zimbabwe, and then Swaziland. May Allah accept ya Rabbi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
You see?
Mashallah.
The day you feel